Good morning. This is Pastor Brandon M. Spriggs from the Zion Hill Agape Baptist Church in Capitol Heights, Maryland. And we've had a great time this entire week talking about salvation, something that a lot of people just don't talk about anymore. We want to talk about possessions and prosperity and houses and land and whatever else we may want to talk about. But I think it's very important that we share our faith and our understanding of salvation. And on this Friday, the last day of our work week, we don't want you to neglect God's message of salvation. We find ourselves today in Hebrews chapter 2, verses 1 through 9. Now, we know that Hebrews is a way of showing us in Eastern philosophy how Jesus Christ is better than anything else that you could ever experience. And so it's not just the Eastern philosophy thing, but it's also a Western philosophy thing. Especially in the African American culture, we have a song that says, "You can have this whole world, but just give me Jesus." We know that He is far superior, and so we cannot neglect Him. Now, I have a confession to make. I can't swim, and I know that doesn't sound like a major sin, but the confession, I guess, should include that at times I've made people think that I could swim. Not because I was actively swimming, but simply because I would make my body real still and calm, and I would just simply drift. And with that drifting, people looked at me as if I could possibly swim, but I actually can't. Here's the problem with drifting. When you are drifting, then you could easily drift away because you're not in control of where you're going. As a matter of fact, the waves are in control. The water is in control. The wind is in control. And if you're not careful, it will control you right into the deep end of the pool or right out to the parts of the sea where you just simply can't make it back. But when the waves get hard, you need to be a swimmer. You need to swim for it. And in order to be a strong swimmer, you've got to do more and more swimming. Maybe this summer I'll get some swim lessons. But all of this is an analogy just to show you how easy it is that if we don't actively be involved in the process of praising God and pursuing the things of God, then we can easily drift away from the very safe shores that God has planted us on out into a very sea of flesh and world and sin. And we find ourselves way out there wondering, how did I get here? It's very easy to just drift away. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away. But I'm here to tell you that Hebrews, the writer of Hebrews, reminds us of the superiority of the Son in His humanity. And it shows us that if we are drifting away, then it's inevitable that we will find some trouble. So what do you do when times get hard? You're going to have to keep swimming. You're going to have to find your way back to God. How do we do that? We do that through our prayer life. We do that through our devotional life. We do that through the reading of scriptures. And so the author has more to say about this, but he's strictly telling those who are of a mindset of the law is better than the gospel, that, hear me when I say this, if you can value the law that was delivered by angels, then you can certainly value the gospel who was delivered by the Lord Himself. So we need to demonstrate what He can do, and He will demonstrate what He can do with less than when we are dependent on Him than if we are independent of Him. Don't drift away, but make sure that you stay connected to the Lord. And if you find yourself drifting away, go and swim on back to the Lord. Don't drift away from God's message of salvation. This has been Pastor Brandon M. Spriggs from the Zion Hill Agape Baptist Church in Capitol Heights, Maryland. This is your morning message in 5 minutes. Till next time, keep advancing the kingdom. God bless you.